Hello and welcome. You have tuned into In Your Interest here on News9 Live. I am Krishna Kumar, and the big story we're taking up on the show today is the latest warning from market regulator SEBI. Stock market regulator SEBI has issued a stern warning to investors dabbling in the SME or small and medium enterprises segment. SME IPOs have been making waves on Dalal Street, drawing interest from investors both small and big. That's right, investors, retail investors like you watching, and the HNIs or high net worth investors. Many of these SME IPOs have delivered impressive returns, with some even doubling in value on their debut before the NSE stepped in with a 90% cap to temper the excitement. This boom in SME stocks is driven by high market liquidity, the fear of missing out or FOMO, and increased retail investor participation. However, SEBI has uncovered evidence that some SME promoters are presenting an unrealistic picture of their companies. This boosts the demand for their shares, allowing promoters to offload their holdings at sky-high prices to unsuspecting investors. The warning from SEBI comes as SME IPOs continue to surge, leaving even experienced investors baffled. Consider the recent IPO of Resourceful Automobile. Despite operating just 2 Yamaha dealerships and having only 8 employees in total, it attracted an eye-popping 4,700 crore rupees in bids for a modest 12 crore rupee issue. And that is just the tip of the iceberg. Let's get in deep on the matter with our special guest who's joining us on the show. We have Mr. Nishchal Maheshwari, market expert, with us here on In Your Interest. Thank you, Nishchal, for taking time out to be with us here on the show. Now, the SME IPOs have been under the radar, especially after that Resourceful Automobile IPO came out. That's when everybody's interest peaked. What exactly is going on over here? And now, to prove all suspicions right, you have this warning coming in from no less than market regulator SEBI.
Evening, Krishna. Yes, I think this is really something which is I think SEBI is also very worried about it. I think for the last 1.5 years, the SME market is booming, and obviously I think it's a good sign that you have small enterprises basically where they can also go out on an exchange to raise money, and thereby are able to get some equity flows for themselves. But I think this is looks like more speculation than anything else. I have not looked at this company, but I have historically not invested in this SME markets at all. So difficult to say, but there are good companies there. But I think what recently we saw some Yamaha dealership coming and raising money. Now that could be a bit far-fetched. So I think investors need to be cautious about that.
Right. Fact of the matter is that IPOs have suddenly become a great avenue for first-time investors in the Indian market to get in, especially considering the high valuations of stocks at the moment. So it's only natural that so many investors are going to flock towards these IPOs, and possibly some of these IPOs are not exactly what they seem to be.
So I think that the merchant bankers have to actually, who have been bringing the issues, they have to be very careful about this. What kind of valuations, what the kind of company, because SEBI requires the merchant bankers to do their due diligence very properly. We have done on the NSE and BSE. I have personally taken several companies to the market, and believe me, basically SEBI is very thorough, very strong on the merchant bankers. Basically said, have you done your proper work or not, basically on the companies. So I think we need to be cautious. The merchant bankers who are bringing these companies, they need to be cautious about the companies. And secondly, I think the investors should also be very cautious, basically, given that there is huge amount of frenzy. And obviously the liquidity wall is actually driving on the whole thing, basically, both on the larger 2 exchanges of BSE, NSE, as well as on the smaller exchange. So people need to be cautious, go through it very thoroughly before trying to invest anything into the SME market.
Okay. The reason why I'm asking, when I've been having this conversation here at this stage, is that these are not just suspicions anymore. When SEBI comes out with a warning, stern warning like that, is SEBI essentially pointing to the fact that there is a scam over here? There is a problem over here. There is window dressing over here when it comes to some of these SME IPOs.
So I think SEBI has been very closely watching this. This is not the first time which SEBI has highlighted this thing. Basically, they have been very, very closely watching this, and again and again they have been cautioning both the exchanges, the larger ones and the smaller ones, and the merchant bankers, saying that you need to be very, very cautious. Basically, at this high valuations. I think this is one of the stands which SEBI has taken historically. And again, they are highlighting this. So I think the merchant bankers and the investors both need to be very, very cautious now, because SEBI must be having some evidence of whatever is happening on the exchange. And that's why they are cautioning them again.
Right. The words that are used are interesting, unrealistic, and some of these portrayals are overtly optimistic. I mean, simple words, but they mean a lot, and it could mean, dire consequences for people who don't research and do their due diligence before they go for these IPOs.
Yes, I think that's why I'm highlighting. Basically, it's first responsibilities of the merchant bankers. They have to be very thorough, basically, about the company, what they are bringing to the market. What is being disclosed is right or wrong. That is the one thing basically the merchant bankers are responsible for. And they have to be very, very cautious in this kind of a scenario. And secondly, the investors themselves, basically, that they have to be cautious given that this kind of frenzy is there, 2,700 crores for a 12 crore IPO. I think this just shows basically there is huge amount of frenzy out there. So it's the best time to avoid. I think if I would tell the investors, especially on the SME side, it's time to avoid that exchange. Let it cool down for a couple of months, 2-3 months, and thereafter once again look at it. But after 2-3 months also, basically, you should be very thorough in your due diligence instead of just going by hearsay.
Now, the question here is also, one is merchant bankers and the other is investors. But then, first of all, who gives the go-ahead for these SME IPOs? Clearly, it's not SEBI, it's the exchanges.
No, I think so. Even in case of SME, they have to file this with the SEBI also. I don't think so that the only exchanges are giving the go-ahead.
Okay.
That I'm not sure, but I believe basically it is being filed. I think the merchant bankers have to be very, very sure basically where they are, what they are giving in the documents.
Is that from our understanding over here, the documents are vetted only by the exchanges. The documents are not vetted by SEBI for these IPOs.
Okay, possibly. That's why I thought. That's why I said basically I was not very sure. So I think then in that case, basically whoever is the vetting agency. So either it is SEBI or a stock exchange. The stock exchanges have to be very, very cautious basically that what is being brought by the merchant bankers basically are those numbers right, wrong, over optimistic. I'm saying somewhere they have to push the merchant bankers basically and do a more thorough job.
Okay. The fact of the matter is that there is vested interest here for the exchanges. They are private entities. They would like more and more companies coming to their exchanges to list. So in that sense, there is a very good chance that they will want to overlook, when an SME comes to them for an IPO.
See, but these are organizations basically which are not only for profit basically. They have a huge fiduciary responsibility, because one bad fall basically all the whatever IPOs are in the pipeline will all go away, and then it will be a difficult job basically. So they lose their long-term income. So they need to be more cautious here. Otherwise, one fall and the whole market tumbles. So that's why I'm saying basically the exchanges need to be more cautious rather than actually being exuberant about this.
And what do you think the SEBI can do here at this stage? If SME IPOs, go, it's all between the company and the exchanges. Now, SEBI is concerned considering, the returns that they've earned, the phenomenal returns that they've given to investors so far, and the fact that, the seemingly dubious nature of some of these new SME IPOs.
I think both the exchanges are in turn basically governed by SEBI. So there is nothing that SEBI cannot do. So if SEBI has put this on notice basically, and SEBI has noted that there is this kind of unrealistic exuberance, SEBI will definitely call for both the exchanges to be more cautious and do more thorough job. So I think SEBI can intervene as and when they seem appropriate.
Anything that can seem appropriate, I think. But until then, it is really the lookout of the investors watching this broadcast, isn't it? Because one is to identify a good opportunity to enter the Indian market, and the other is to run along with the herd. And clearly, FOMO is not the right way to enter the Indian market.
No, definitely. I think historically we have always said basically that the best way to enter the Indian markets initially, till you are well equipped to understand the stock market, is through the SIP route into the mutual funds. That's the best way to go out basically, because there is a huge amount of schemes which are available, various fund managers, which are very, very well equipped basically to give you a very good perspective and give you good returns. I think that's the best route for any starter, any person who's starting into the stock markets. And thereafter, once you are able to get enough, you are well equipped there, then you should start looking at investing into the stock markets directly.
Okay, if I were to ask you, why are retail investors even getting into some of these SME IPOs? They want to make a quick buck, right, at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's true basically. I think, and then there is peer pressure. My neighbor is investing; he has made very quick money. My friend is invested. My colleague has invested. So I'm saying this is what is actually driving. Okay. So people are, and then there is easy access, which is I think very good. That there is easy access to do this. And it's sort of become a lottery now. Now, if you look at it basically for a 12 crore issue, 2,700 crores bids, it's like maybe 1 in 1,000 or something like that kind of number basically. So it's virtually a lottery.
Virtually a lottery. I'm afraid we've completely run out of time on that note. Nishal Maheshwari, market expert, thank you so much for taking time out to be with us here on In Your Interest.
Thanks. Nice.
And with that, we take a short breather here on the show. We'll be back with lots more on the other side. Keep it with News9 Live.
Have not quite lived up to their pre-tournament billing, delivering a series of less than convincing performances. With 2 draws and a solitary win.
Your son will be Messi. No studies, just football all day. Go, my son, go. Make my face shine through playing football.
Not only your face, but also the country's. I will conquer the world by playing football. Come, let's go to Germany!
World's largest football talent hunt, News9 Indian Tigers and Tigresses. In association with DFB Pokal, Bundesliga, BVB and India Football Center. Train and play matches in Europe. Register now and fly to Germany. IndianTigersandTigresses.com.
जानना है तो देखिए, समझना है तो सुनिए, सीखना है तो पूछिए, और कमाना है तो खरीदिए। जानकारी, सलाह और निवेश सब एक ही सुपर ऐप पर। पैसे का सवाल है तो जवाब है Money9। आजादी पैसे की, अभी डाउनलोड करें।
मैं नरेंद्र दामोदर दास मोदी।
Terrorism always flows like water. It will go in the direction where there is no obstacle.
Bloodbath in Jammu. 5 soldiers die after terrorists open fire at an army convoy in Kathua.
Pakistan essentially is doing is opening a new frontier in the Jammu region.
This and more. Streaming on News9 plus news is now content. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
You are watching In Your Interest here on News9 Live. I am Krishna Kumar, and our next big story is for all those watching this who are possibly thinking of a new car. Now, if you are thinking about buying a new car, then here is some news. Scrapping your old vehicle could now end up saving you money. As we head into the festive season, commercial and passenger vehicle manufacturers are offering discounts to buyers who provide a valid certificate of deposit from their old vehicle. This could be a great opportunity to get a better deal on your new purchase. If you scrap your old vehicle, you could be eligible for a discount of anywhere between 1.5 to 3.5% on your new buy. Luxury car makers are also getting into the action, with some offering discounts of around 25,000 rupees. Now, back in August 2021, India introduced a national vehicle scrappage policy to phase out old and polluting vehicles. As part of this, states provide a 25% road tax rebate on vehicles purchased after scrapping older vehicles. Under the vehicle scrappage policy, a passenger vehicle has a lifespan of around 20 years and commercial vehicle 15 years, subject to a fitness test. Now, this new move is part of the government's ongoing push to encourage vehicle scrapping. Road Transport and Highways Minister Nitin Gadkari has advocated for various incentives, including discounts and lower GST rates, to promote the replacement of old vehicles with new ones. Nitin Gadkari announced that commercial and passenger vehicle manufacturers have agreed to offer discounts for the purchase of new vehicles against the scrapping of older vehicles with a valid certificate of deposit. Now, the decision was taken at SIAM, or Society of Indian Automobiles Manufacturers, CEO's delegation meeting, chaired by Gadkari at the Bharata Mandapam in the capital, where he addressed various critical issues faced by the auto industry. The minister had last year said that the country needs 1,000 vehicle scrapping centers and 400 automated fitness test centers. Previously, the Road Transport Ministry had recommended up to 5% discounts for scrapped vehicles, but the industry chose to negotiate terms that were more commercially viable. The government has also established 60 registered vehicle scrapping facilities and 75 automated testing stations. So far, 21 states and union territories have offered motor vehicle tax concessions for those purchasing new vehicles against a scrapping certificate, while 18 states and union territories have waived pending liabilities for vehicles sent to scrapping centers. To talk about this, joining us on the show today is Shom Kapoor, partner and Future of Mobility leader at EY Patharon. Shom, great to have you here on In Your Interest. Simple question to you. We are at the threshold of the festive season. It's not been a great year for car sales. They haven't matched up the expectations compared to what they have been for the last couple of years. And in that sense, this order for scrapping comes at a crucial time.
Obviously it does, but I'm not going to just talk in terms of a short time frame, but I think this is actually great for circularity overall, right? There is incentives on one side, there is a policy on the other side. What the government is essentially trying to do, they're trying to fix the norms for this business. They're trying to make sure that customers are given a better deal if they go ahead for scrapping. Also, what this will essentially do is, all the numbers that you just spoke about, number of scrappage centers, the RSPs, etc., all of that. What the government is trying to do is what was happening, maybe not so much in the formal economy, will also come into the formal economy in terms of more and more scrappage centers. People will actually go to the official scrappage centers because of the deposit certificate, get the deposit certificate and get a discount on the new car. So I think it's a great, on one side, they've given the mandates towards scrapping older cars. And on the other side, they're trying to find as many ways of providing an incentive, right from the states giving incentive to now the OEMs also passing on discounts. Hopefully, this should increase auto sales and in the short term as well, give a flip to auto sales overall.
Right. Scrappage is one thing. The other is the fact that what is happening with car sales in the country. Shom, I want your take on that. There was supposedly, it was a takeoff moment a couple of years ago with what happened with car sales going through the roof. Something has gone wrong in the year 2024.
Oh, I don't think something's gone wrong. I mean, you can't always have a linear curve going one way. There'll always be a layer of, bumps and crests. And this could be one of those little crests. If you look at the overall India story in terms of car sales with the 2032 horizon, etc. It's all intact. And, we've had a great couple of years, in fact. So a little, realization in terms of that it's not going to be one-way traffic all the time is something that we just need to understand and learn.
Okay. Fair enough, we'll leave it at that on that matter. But then I want to bring this the focus back to scrappage. Scrappage, in that sense, tells you how you can sort of regulate the auto market, the car sales in this country over a period of time. Because you have countries like Singapore where you actually have to hand in your car after a certain number of years, and that means that you can have the cycle continuing. In that sense, do you think the scrappage policy, what we have at this stage, supports the auto industry in the long run?
Absolutely. Circularity is something that will obviously help both the industry, the environment, the government, all of it put together. So circularity is something where over a period of time, you'll see it helps auto car sales, it helps the government in mandating its carbon emission norms, it helps the OEM sell more cars, it helps customers get better technology over a period of time. So I actually feel that circularity in any fashion, albeit through this policy, through other policies that the government is trying to do, is of great essence to the country.
Okay. Just tell us, do you think the upcoming festive season will give a big fillip to car sales in India?
I hope so. I definitely hope so for everybody involved. And the economy is starting to do very well. The rural economy is expected to do well again, and what's happening on the two-wheeler side is starting to pick up over there. So I do believe that the upcoming festive season could turn it around to a certain extent for the auto industry.
Okay, I'm only asking this question because festive season accounts for nearly half of the entire year's sales as far as cars are concerned, and it is crucial that the sales do well this time around. And for all the talk of the inventories piling up, for that, Shom, in the Indian auto industry needs a good run this festive season.
Like I said before, I hope both for the auto industry, for the consumers, for people, for the analysts who are sitting on the outside, I hope we do have a better run for H2 of this year, and I do hope that sales pick up as we were for the last couple of years.
Before we let you go, Shom, talk to us in terms of, one is the scrappage policy and the other is all the other challenges that are facing, car sales in this country, be it jobs or be it, incomes, all of those are also factors.
Absolutely. I mean, if you listen, there are two ways to look at it. Either you can look at it from a very short-term perspective of, say, the last couple of months that have gone by, or you can look at it from a long-term perspective. I think the India story is very, very intact to that extent. If you were to look at projections from any industry analyst for a 10-year horizon, you'll always see great CAGR numbers going through. So those great CAGR numbers are based on all those parameters you just mentioned. And over a period of time, I think those CAGR numbers will play out. And, you can go ahead and, get good numbers going forward. This is the last couple of months has probably been a little bit of that, the trough and crest story on any growth story. And that's about it. That's what I'd read into.
Okay. We will leave it at that. Completely out of time here on the show. Shom Kapoor, partner and future of mobility leader at EY Partner. Thank you so much for taking time out to be with us here on India.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And with that, it's a wrap here from my side. Thank you so much for watching. This is Krishna Kumar signing off.
Give it to me, pass.
We'll put new glasses in the windows and they keep breaking it. This is the fourth time. You are playing football throughout the day. Will you win the world by playing football?
Yes, uncle. I will now conquer the world by playing football. Let's go to Germany.
World's largest football talent hunt, News9 Indian Tigers and Tigresses. In association with DFB Pokal, Bundesliga, BVB and India Football Center. Train and play matches in Europe. Register now and fly to Germany. IndianTigersandTigresses.com.
Big fan of Ian Bell, watching him very classy in all formats.
I find Durban quite a challenge, which is still an enjoyable one.
You're not allowed to bowl a bouncer, so that tells you that they want to see runs on the board.
बड़े अच्छे अच्छे टूर्स किए हैं, बड़ी अच्छी अच्छी यादें हैं हर जगह की, जहाँ मैंने पर्सनली क्रिकेट को बहुत इंजॉय किया है। ऑस्ट्रेलिया एंड इंडिया में बहुत ज़्यादा इंजॉय किया।
I love playing again England and India, and they were both very different challenges.
Up close and personal with legendary cricketers like never before. Icons of the pitch.
This and more. Streaming on News9 plus news is now content. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
This is News9 Live, India's only digital exclusive live stream. For the early adopters,